Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to reaction news reaction show. It's breaking news, of course, and Juventus and controversy sometimes go hand in hand, don't they? I mean, if you're old enough to remember the Calciopoli scandal 17 years ago, then you know what I'm talking about Juventus. They've been handed a 15-point deduction from SerieA. I want to cast your mind back to 2020. Remember when Andrea Agnelli, the Juventus CEO president at that time, what he said football is in danger. Like if you don't save football, this game is not going to last for very long. And all the things that were said at that time to justify the Super League, and all those conversations. And actually, if you were like me and if you saw through this, the reality was football was not in danger. The danger was how big clubs were conducting business, how they were doing stuff. And I think COVID kind of just threw everything. And I mean, think about it. Look at the financial crisis that Barcelona are in. Look at the financial issues that Manchester United are in. I mean, when Glazers are unable to take dividends from the club, you're in trouble. Look at the kind of trouble that Liverpool are in as well in terms of not trouble. I just think that financially cash strapped. Right? You shouldn't say trouble. And Barcelona are in real trouble. United and Liverpool are kind of like cash strapped, and you got Juventus that are having these issues now. Real Madrid, of course, have not made big signings for a long, long time as well. And this is the reason why. It's because it's not that football is in trouble. It was that the big clubs were in trouble financially. And what has happened at Juventus is just it's difficult, it's ugly, it's cheating, it is what it is, but that's just the price of the kind of negligence that has been going on. So just to give a quick idea for those who might not be aware, so basically Juventus did a lot of creative accounting. Basically, they kind of like hid numbers in the books, to kind of get away with FFP, kind of falsified numbers, falsified documents. There are apparently leaked payments as well to Cristiano Ronaldo, as well, that was alleged. I'm not sure that was proven, but that was what is meant. And so based on all that financial irregularities, Juventus were handed a 15-point deduction. Agnelli, of course, already resigned. And the reason why, this sometimes happens, right? When you get caught in a scandal, you quickly resign so you don't get in trouble with the authorities. So Agnelli has had resigned. I mean, and Fabio Paratici as well has been facing some sanctions as well. I think he's been banned for about 30 months, I believe, is the man that has been given. So all of that told, I think just the fact that when you think about everything that has happened up to this point, I think the reality is, as I kept saying, as I keep going back to it, football was never in danger. Football was never the issue. The Super League was never about, about making football competitive. It was never about, changing the status quo as such. It was nothing of that sort. It was simply the big clubs wanting more money than what they were getting, wanting more authority than they were getting. I mean, the reality is, when you think about it, they were getting insane amounts of something. Look at how much they were going to make. I think, going to make 3 times as much as they were making by staying in the Champions League. And a lot of clubs needed that revenue. They needed that revenue to survive. It was never about anything else. It was just about money, just about more money to kind of continue to do what they were doing, which was and kind of hiding all of their incompetencies. That was the idea. Now, maybe Real Madrid, maybe Manchester City, maybe PSG, maybe they thought differently, and maybe they thought they were actually doing it for some greater good. But the reality, because City and PSG don't need that kind of money, so I think they were doing it more for the. I think they must have. Oh, sorry, not PSG. I'm sorry, PSG were not involved in that. But Manchester City, Chelsea, at that time as well. Yeah, maybe they thought they were doing it for the greater good, but not that these clubs are just doing it for the money. So it's good to see. It's good to see that Bartomeu is out. One of the perpetrators of this whole mess. It's good to see Agnelli is now out as well. Again, it's satisfying to see, and sometime we'll probably see Glazers also getting out of this, which will be fantastic as well. So slowly, the perpetrators of the Super League, and I know I'm kind of digressing from this, but slowly, so these perpetrators of the Super Leagues are being exposed for what their real intentions were. It was never about football. It was always about money and survive and making more money for themselves to basically continue their excessive decadent ways. But nonetheless, I digress. I mean, the sad part now, though, or not the sad part, but the interesting, it is sad for the players because the players have worked hard. I mean, you always feel bad for the players because if you are deducted 15 points for something that the players were not at fault for, you always feel for them because no matter what you think about Juventus as a club, the fact is the players do try hard, do work hard for whatever they get right on the pitch. And they're trying hard to get Champions League qualification. That is, Juventus had kind of put themselves a little bit back in contention for the title. I think the defeat to Napoli kind of took the wind out of their sails on that one. But still, the fact is that they were kind of putting themselves back in contention. Now they're going to have to start fighting for a top 4 spot, something that they had really worked so hard to get back into. And now all of a sudden, you're looking, and then they probably were thinking, oh my God, what have we done here? What has happened to us? So you always feel bad when that kind of thing happens. But the reality is, it doesn't mean that the penalty is not wrong or that they shouldn't be given that. I think that's totally fair and totally fine. And maybe some people will say the fact that, at the end of the day, the players willingly knew that what they were doing, like in terms of not taking those salary deductions and not coming public, or not making a statement. So maybe there is a bit of karma there as well. But nonetheless, from my point of view, I feel it's a little bit sad for Juventus, but at the same time, the rules are what the rules are. And so now they've gone down to 22 points, and they were 37, which was putting them joint third, and now they're down to 22 points. And if you look at this table, they're now 12 points of Lazio. It's not an unbridgeable gap. There's still they play 19, so there's 20 games still to go. 12 points is not that big of a gap that they can't cover it. An informed Juventus covers that gap, because the fourth place team is Lazio, and then you've got Atlanta, Roma, Udinese. I mean, those are not teams that are that consistent that you expect them to challenge for top four. So 12 points is still a bridgeable gap. But at the end of the day, will they be able to do it? Will not? Those things, the question. I mean, that's an informed Juventus. This is a Juventus that's now in disarray. Obviously, the mental aspect cannot be denied. The fact that you get there 15 points, as players, your head's kind of drop. You kind of start thinking, should I be moving out of this club? Should I, where should I be playing? Where will I be playing? Should I leave in January? Should I wait? So those kind of things start coming into your mind as well. So there's going to be a lot of work that the coaching and the manager will need to do now for the players. To try and get them ready mentally as much as physically, and that's going to take a toll. But at the end of the day, I have sympathy for Juventus as a team. I don't have sympathy for Juventus as a club. I don't have sympathy for the owners, the people who are part of who are perpetrators for this. I don't have sympathy for them, and I think they deserve. And when you look at the whole bigger picture, I think they deserve the deduction that's happened. It's unfortunate for the players. From the playing point of view, it's unfortunate, but the reality is that it is the right decision, and it should happen. And so no complaints there. Of course, keep in mind as well that these kind of things can be appealed still. There's still an appeal pending. These things, City is still under investigation from the Premier League for years and years, and nothing has ever happened. So these things take a long time. And if you remember as well, Manchester City were handed, a ban, 2-year ban, and then it goes to CAS and it gets overturned. So a lot of times these things do happen as well. So stay tuned for that. I don't think the saga is over just yet, but hopefully it is upheld. Just from a competitive point of view, I think it should be upheld, and I hope it is upheld, and that the ban stays in place. Even if it's just to dissuade other people from doing this kind of thing. So definitely there. But let me know in the comments if you're Juventus fans. What do you think about this decision? Do you think that it was right? Do you think it was wrong? What are your thoughts on Agnelli and the ownership? Where do you stand on that? I would love to hear from you, of course, but this is just my opinion, right? And you may have a different opinion. You may feel that this was harsh. You may feel that it's unjust. That there was nothing wrong that happened. So always happy to hear your different sides of the story, of course. So do share your thoughts as well on this. And if you enjoyed this video, do remember to smash a like and subscribe to the channel, of course, if you're new. And as I said, share comments, share it with your friends as well. Do whatever, help us grow the channel, of course. I always say thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.